Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Joe Two and Love, here with another AEW Rampage review. Final review of July. Yeah, this year has been dicing through and through, but nonetheless, here let's get into it. Rampage last night. Not going to go over a whole lot before the review, but was a decent show last night for Rampage. Obviously, Dynamite was great following the lackluster week they had last week. Dynamite, very good. Rampage was a little suspect, but I will say it did flow a bit better than it did or it has the last couple weeks because, of course, we know same issues with Rampage. It's taped. It's 1 hour. It's on Friday night, etc. But it did flow better than last night. But before I get into the review, thank you for joining me. If you're new to the podcast and you want to see more of these pro wrestling reviews, find them on the homepage, Dynamite, Rampage, etc. Posted Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor review on Monday, so you can get that as well. But thank you, and let's get into it. So, we started with Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends. First, Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, and Sonjay Dutt. Now, the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy I could definitely see because the trio styles were unveiled on Dynamite, and the tournament was announced to be taking place to crown the inaugural champions, which will culminate at All Out. And I can totally see Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends infiltrating nicely in the tournament. Probably not winning the tournament. I have reservations on my pick to win the tournament, but yeah, I could definitely see Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends make their way into that scene. But this was fine for the match at hand. One of the things, as I mentioned earlier, that made the show flow nicer was we didn't just jump right into the action for Rampage. We got some entrances actually to open Rampage, not having to see them on YouTube. But yeah, it made it flow nicely. This short little match, antics, cross board, with Orange Cassidy. Satnam Singh, he didn't do too much. That's what you like to see. He doesn't do a lot. He just does a little. Um, did throw Orange Cassidy around for a bit. Did have some chops. Did have a nice crossbody onto the Best Friends, but relatively small and relatively simple for Satnam Singh. Sonjay Dutt was in a suit, so that made kind of hokey. But at the end, Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends won. Dutt was trying to use Orange Cassidy's game against him, but ultimately his pencil got ripped and Orange Cassidy hit the orange punch. 1, 2, 3. And Orange Cassidy and the best friends get the win here. Afterwards, Satnam Singh, Jay Lethal, and Dutt, they all made a post-match beatdown attack. Out came Wardlow. Wardlow, the TNT champion, who obviously has respect for Orange Cassidy after defending his title against him at Fyter Fest Night 1. And came out that he had a nice little face-to-face confrontation with Jay Lethal, with Satnam Singh and Sonjay Dutt backing him away. So Wardlow's next challenger for the TNT title, Jay Lethal. That can be a hell of a match. Jay Lethal versus Wardlow. Now, Jay Lethal obviously lost to Samoa Joe on Saturday in a great match at Death Before Dishonor. He'll obviously have to get a little momentum, but yeah, I could totally see this match. Probably not Click a Lake, that's probably too soon, but we are a month away from All Out, so that could probably be very well. For the match, I'd like to see Ethan Page, and this segment got a little bit of people buzzing and a little confusing, but let's get into it. So, Ethan Page, all ego Ethan Page. So, he was out there one-on-one with Leon Ruffin. Kind of strange. We saw Ethan Page out on his own with no Dan Lambert, no Scorpio Sky. This was a rematch from a Dark episode of Dark last week. So they said run it back, and I was confused. And then they played the clip from Dark, and it's like, oh. But short little match. Obviously, Page is great. He hit big Eagle's Edge on Ruffin. His version of the Razor's Edge. 1, 2, 3. But he said while delivering it, he said, I hate this place. 1, 2, 3. And Nathan Page storms out of the ring. He was saying, where's his pay? Where's his TV time? Ethan Page is one of those guys. Now, I can totally see running for the TNT champion. He hasn't really done much since, he lost that All Atlantic Championship Eliminator against Miro. And he has not done much since. And for him to not be out there with Scorpio Sky or Dan Lambert, it's a bit weird. But we'll see. Ethan Page, one of those guys that's too talented. I mean, hence the reason, Rampage needs to be 2 hours. I mean, they're making their debut in Canada in October. Ethan Page obviously is stealthy Canadian, so we'll see. The other thing is, I mentioned the trio style tournament. You know, could we get a third? Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky, with another, and they vie for the trio styles. I don't know. Britt Baker and Rebel, they were backstage. Britt talked about the forecast of thunderstorm next week. She talked about Thunder Rosa's reign as champion, saying it's been like how we feel, it's been a bit underwhelming. She talked about Tony Storm, says that Tony deserves better, but she's chosen to cast herself on the side of Thunder Rosa. You know, could we see a turn on Wednesday, Dynamite? I wonder. Lee Moriarty versus Matt Sydal, the student versus teacher match. This was another pretty good match. Matt Sydal, very good veteran. Moriarty, he's got things to show for. He's little by little, he's improving. But the shortest match was obviously him cheating for Dante last week and the Stokely Hathaway dynamic. So they were getting in this match, and then Stokely Hathaway all of a sudden comes down the ringside, and they're changing on top. Sydal, due to Stokely's distraction, gets crotch on top rope. Stokely lost his glasses apparently in the ring, but yeah, I'm back. Moriarty took advantage, hit a suplex into a flatliner for a near fall. Then landed some elbows and locked in the Motor City Stretch, which is his version of the Gargano Escape. And Matt Sydal tapped out to his former student, now Lee Moriarty. Afterwards, Moriarty rained down with words for Matt Sydal, and Stokely Hathaway came into the ring and once again offered his card to Moriarty, and Moriarty accepted. So, the first male addition and signing for Stokely Hathaway. He's dealing with the J brand and the baddies, but now it seems Stokely Hathaway with Lee Moriarty. Okay, let's get some improvement. Although, if we could get another theme song for Moriarty, I'd like that too. That's just me. Claudio Castagnoli. He was out there set for a championship celebration for his big win over Jonathan Gresham on Saturday night. He soaked in, was out there with William Regal. He thanked the fans, said this only the beginning. And then he welcomed out another guy who had a big night at Death Before Dishonor. Willer Yuta had a very good match for Daniel Garcia. Yuta obviously is the young gun, the protege really of the Blackpool Combat Club. He is now, I love him as a wrestler. And this promo, it's good. It's just his delivery sounds a little off for me, but that's just me again. But so Chris Jericho interrupted, and Willer Yuta said, "Well, I beat your boy on Saturday night, and I'm so confident I could probably beat you too." And so this guy in a tirade of the fans and said, "I can beat you." And so Jericho offered up him versus Yuta on Wednesday's Dynamite. Yuta said no. Jericho then said, "Well, how about this? I'm so confident that I'll beat you that I'll offer up my title shot at Quake by the Lake. And if Yuta wins, he gets the title shot." So Yuta said that was easier than I expected and said, "You're on." So Jericho said, or so there's that. Now, I don't see Yuta being Jericho on Wednesday. I just don't see the point in having Yuta versus Moxley at Quake by the Lake. You want the biggest match possible, it seems, for Minnesota. So Moxley versus Jericho, it seems, but Jake Hager helped cost Bryan Danielson his match on Dynamite versus Daniel Garcia. Could we possibly see a Bryan Danielson interference in the match on Wednesday? Certainly a thought. The Acclaimed, they debuted their new music video detailing their match stipulations. First, the Gun Club. So, excuse me. So, they were near a garbage truck and a dumpster with a bunch of other guys, and they tell it that it'll be a dumpster match versus the Gun Club on Wednesday's Dynamite. So I've only I can only recall one dumpster match in the last number of years. That was with Kalisto and I believe Braun Strowman on Raw a number of years ago, which Kalisto actually won. But, you know, curious to see how it's going to play out because, I mean, the Acclaimed and the Gun Club are both really good teams. And kind of curious if this may be the catalyst for the Acclaimed to get a big push down the road because, well, whomever take the titles from Keith Lee and Swerve, the Acclaim they're going to be right behind to go for the titles next against whomever. So, I mean, see how it goes. And plus, good that Bowens it seems fully healthy. So, hopefully, no more injuries for the time being, and good for the Acclaim. And hopefully, it's a good match on Wednesday. Ruby Soho for Santa J. This was the main event of Rampage. Anna J. She did not win over many people with that promo on Dynamite Wednesday. And with what she said in the pre-match interview, I mean, I get, but it's not doing it for me yet. So, Ruby and NJ had a decent little match here. Anna, the other thing too is she's still very young and she still has room to grow. So, I mean, her as a heel, still working. Plus, Ruby, I hate it sometimes with Ruby because, looks like she pretty much does nothing for really the time being, and then she gets put into something for a few weeks, and then she's cast away. She lost this match here for Santa J. Of course, Ruby had that cast when Ty Conti slammed that door into her arm a number of weeks ago. The cast was off, but Anna J behind the referee's back, she took the cast and did a assisted kind of Queenslayer using the cast to help choke out Ruby Soho. Ruby passed out and Anna got the win. So Jericho was on commentary. He was happy, we'll see how it is. Like I said, Dynamite, very good. Very good. Rampage flowed. It flowed better than how it's been the last few weeks with just a bunch of things so fast. but we'll see. But Rampage was okay compared to Dynamite, and as you expect, until there's changes, more changes made to Rampage, but we'll see. But nonetheless, that's the episode for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy it. If you did, click that like, leave a thumbs up. How about the video? Um, See you guys Thursday for AEW Dynamite as we're officially done with Fight for Fallen and Fyter Fest. So next week will be kind of the regular Dynamite Rampage, and then obviously Quake by the Lake in 2 weeks. But see how it goes. Anyways, thank you all. Be safe. Thank you for joining me. See you guys next week. Adios. Peace.